Hello, everyone. Welcome to another week of MMO Concept Art. I'm your instructor, Steve Curtis, and we are going to switch right away over to Wolf. How's it going, Wolf?
It's going well, thanks.
Here comes the screen at you, buddy.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. This is the mess that I had before. So it's really messy now that I've simplified this, and well, I've simplified it even more than this, but this is my first attempt on that. But just that, like, if you look at the chest piece, it's much better. And then I decided to try this kind. Tried once this armor, the shoulder thing, rather than this. I don't really like it underneath. I like it over.
Yeah, I like that too.
All right, and then uh, I have all this. I had forgotten about that we weren't doing the ones under that, but I made another one. What did I just say? Do the ones under that?
I don't know. I was just going to let that go.
Yeah, that was really weird. That was really weird. But that he was, we were doing the ones where he wasn't wearing that extra armor underneath.
There we go.
Or doing that under that. Whatever I said. Anyway, okay, from here I had the idea, and I didn't do it right, but it gave me another idea. But I had the idea of it being kind of something kind of tangling out, like these
I
little
was going to
like
ask about that. It's
branches.
like, did I just not see those before?
No, so I tried that. That's the only thing different from the last one. But then I thought, well, this looks like something an elementalist would have. So I put it on this guy, which could be an elementalist or a healer or something, and he might be able to do both things depending on how you what skills you give him or whatever. So maybe only if you go to the elemental uh, route will you get these things. But I kind of like. I mean, they're attached. They're attached, but
Yeah.
they
I mean,
circle out.
in the real world, that's not very practical, but I do like them.
I mean, he's not a melee guy. He's um, so I mean, it's kind of yeah, it's not completely practical in the real world, but I was thinking, it's kind of a little bit Tesla coil esque. So
Yeah, I
anyway,
like those. I like that
uh,
idea.
then I added those there. Cool. Um, and then like I I thought this was kind of throwing that this was a different color than this, and so I'm like, it looks so sharp here, and then I've got this where it doesn't have that kind of contrast, so I made the contrast, and it looks really good, I think.
Yeah,
And
I like the last guy.
yeah, I changed these things so that they're not it's not really busy, but they're like the same. It's all the same kind of thing that it branches out. Um, so now one thing that I really want to do is when I render these out, when I finally render these out, I want to render them uh, in threes, and what I want to do is have them at like different stages of their development. And this doesn't have to be exactly how it's done in the game, but I was thinking like when you first start out, like you start out something like this, maybe without this armor down here. You start out something like this, then later, so you get these armors, and then you get the coat, and then you get the helmet, things like that. So it kind of develops as you progress. Because I just in games that have done that, I know it's just playing with friends. It's just we look at each other. It's like, oh, dude, look at me now. Look how cool I look now, and they're like, oh yeah, that is cool. And it's just kind of fun. So to have even if it's just 3 steps, but I mean, it can be done it could be done in like, oh, you buy a helmet when you have enough money and stuff. But so it could be done differently. But I want to portray it as where you start off, you kind of a middle thing, and then the ultimate when you look the most badass that you're going to look, and just as something to kind of to guide us.
All right, weigh in, everybody.
Do you like that idea?
I do.
All right, everybody else.
I only heard part of the explanation, but what I did hear I like.
By the way,
And I
everybody,
apologize
Richard's
for being late.
Hey, Richard.
Hey.
Okay, and I'm glad Nick is here tonight. Steve, this is I've tried a few different things. This is just like ripping a hole in it, and I tried adding this kind of thing, this decorative thing, which I like, which is Nick's idea.
Yeah, I have to say, when Nick said that, I really wasn't sure about it, but he was right. I really liked that.
I personally, I like this one better, where it's wrapping around.
Yeah, that works for me.
So yeah, and just as I was saying, like I see, you know how this guy has like these 2 spikes right here on the shoulder. I was thinking when he starts off, he doesn't have the high one, and that comes later as he progresses, and he develops this as he progresses, this ornament thing, and then like as a last step, he wears this underneath. So when he's fully leveled out or whatever, that he has this extra armor, even though like throughout that most of until then, most of his leveling up, he would look like this. What do you think about that?
That's a terrible idea.
Really?
No, actually, I like it.
Okay.
Good.
All right. And I tried your thing here, Steve, and I didn't like it here. I liked it better here when I added it here, which is okay. Then I tried to see if I could do more, but it kind of seems too busy. I tried doing it everywhere here. Then I added this just so we could look at, we could compare it to what it was, and I tried going. Well, maybe the contrast is might be throwing it off a little bit, so I put down the contrast just to show that, and then I thought, having these markings that color and being like this, that makes it flow better. So it's like this I like the most out of all of those, but except for this, I still like this best. And how do you think of that, Steve? Now that you're seeing it.
Give me a minute.
Also, I also did this, so I made it exactly the same as that. I think that's probably the best one, because you're not as distracted by the heavy contrast, which really doesn't mean anything. It's because that's not what these are. Just because there's contrast in these doesn't mean there's going to be that kind of contrast in the actual thing. And then I thought, I got a little radical, and I thought, what if they were kind of magically glowing? It's kind of neat. I mean, I wouldn't
I
have it
actually
this
kind of like
loud.
that one.
Yeah, I kind of like it. It's too loud. Where like right up here, it doesn't look good up here. It's too loud. I like it down this part, but I don't know. Maybe it's because
I'm not
how it
sure I
looks with
agree
the
with
yellow.
that, Wolf. I kind of like it.
Well, when I first saw that sort of line work that you were setting up, I thought it was going to be so they could glow.
Yeah, that that hadn't really that wasn't really where I was thinking, but it does kind of fit in with that. If you remember that that building, like their main building in the Dota thing, their fort place, how it was all glowing, had those glowing lines, kind of similar to that. You know what I'm saying? The
I don't.
towers.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, and here is one. This one, it looks like I didn't do the thing draping over. I just added this. Let's see what that looks like. And then I added another class. This is the assassin class, which I'm pretty happy with how it's coming. I still need to do with the 3 steps in mind. I still want to play with it a lot. Maybe at the end have a little bit more armor, but I also like, at the end I'm doing the same thing where he has something like leather or something underneath to added protection. I was thinking like he could either, when he first starts off, he could either start off without the cape and cloak at all, like this, or maybe he could start like this, and then later, as he levels up, he gets his hood. And also, I wanted to like this long one, strap thing, like that he would, as he leveled up, he would get that. And I was thinking if this is just to carry throwing knives. And I don't know. Well, I don't know. It's also thinking, like, because right here the idea is that knives would be sticking up this way, but maybe it should be flipped, and then the knife should be able to be pulled down. Anyway, what do you think about my cool assassin that I'm super proud of, and would be crushed if you didn't love it? Be honest.
My God, Wolf, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
I like the idea of him drawing the knife down. It would be similar to, if we go with the idea that they do the same thing with the swords, it would be sort of a consistent design aesthetic between them, kind of thing.
I was also thinking that it might be nice to flip this to this side. I'm not really sure, just because right now they're going kind of more parallel. It might be interesting.
Yeah,
And
I will change the read.
What?
To change the direction of the read of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I will like that.
But I'm not sure if I'd like it with the top piece versus reversing the other piece, because I kind of like the way the chest piece is flowing at an opposite angle to the wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I was also wondering. I was trying to think like I could think of a reason why this should be on this side, but I can also think on this side, assuming he's right-handed. Like, because I was thinking, he's striking out with things, with attacks. There's a little bit more protection as he's striking out. But if he's, say, if he was positioning himself to where this side was closer to the enemy before he striked. You know, maybe it would make more sense for this to be on that side, and then this side to be able to move. You know, it's a little bit more mobility or something, or easier to move. So I don't know if this should be flipped. And so I was thinking if this was flipped, it might make more sense for this to be flipped. But then again, it kind of makes more sense for this to be on the left side if he's right-handed. You say stuff now.
I think everybody else needs to say stuff now.
I think that asymmetry is good, and you don't need an explanation for it.
Touche. Second.
Yeah,
Yep.
but do you think it should be flipped on this side or stay on the way it is?
I think
I like it the way it is. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
I
agree.
think it should be on whatever side keeps it opposite of that band.
Yeah. All right. Well, it looks fine like this. Keep it like that.
And then
Yeah,
I mean, then I'd consider flipping the belt to get rid of that.
Oh, the belt
dual line you don't like.
down here. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could do the belt. That's true. Yeah, I don't really know why I did this this shape, but I think it looks cool.
Yeah, I like the asymmetry of it. Everything else has
Yeah.
been pretty symmetrical, and I
Yeah.
like seeing something that changes up that aesthetic a little. It still looks similar to the other armors, but
Mm-hmm.
and I expect assassins to be a little asymmetrical. It's their job to think outside the box, so why wouldn't
Yeah.
their design aesthetic say that too?
Yeah, and you know, I'm gonna play with a lot more of the detail and things when, probably more when I get to a bigger drawing, a 3D, not a 3D, but a whatchamacallit, 3/4 perspective and render it and stuff. I'm gonna try adding different detail. It's like I've already thought some of this detail, like I think like right now I'm imagining this can as he moves up his arm, this would come up as well. This whole thing would kind of come up. But I think I might instead of just having it here in the front, I might strap it around a little bit underneath there. But anyway, it's just the basic idea of what it will be.
I like it so
I call
far.
it a solid win.
Yep, and
What's that?
I like that it's a little more muted because an assassin would be.
Right.
He wouldn't want to stand out.
Yeah, and I also made the hood kind of back a little bit because I know you weren't crazy about the hood idea, but the assassin needs a hood.
Yeah, and the hood, it could actually be fixed in another way. I will show it later. So you could use a hood even without losing the shape of the head.
Yeah. Well, I agree. If it's an assassin, they have to have a hood. It's just
Yeah.
kind of a creed.
Oh, also, I haven't had time to do it, but I thought I want to, since I got thinking of it with the whole upgrading thing, I want to put a mask where it's just like a mask, like under like it's kind of an armored kind of thing.
Okay.
Probably it's underneath his eyes, like that, just that part. So he's kind of blocking it, so he looks more menacing and mysterious. So that would be like the final of the three stages. So I think that'd be cool.
I like cool.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see it. There's a little part of me that thinks that might be a little too human, but at the same time, he's an assassin. You
Yeah.
don't want people knowing what you look like, so.
Well, I think you are very solidly on the right path.
Cool.
I agree.
And I don't know, people didn't really talk about. I'm really liking this whole thing. Like I could see if I was into cosplaying, this would be something that worth cosplaying. I don't know. I really like it.
Yeah, back when you first started, I thought it was way too busy.
It was.
But with the changes and with the changes to contrast and with the addition of the cloak as he progresses, yeah, I actually like that.
I love the shoulders, too.
Yeah, cool. Sergio? You have to call on Sergio, otherwise he usually doesn't respond. Stays quiet.
Turn the mic on.
Sergio, you must speak now.
Okay. No, I like the changes. I really like the change in contrast, and for the one on the top, the last one on the top.
Here?
Yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah, the helmet looks a lot better when I made it match.
Yeah, that contrast really takes away the noise, let's say, in a way.
Right.
And it simplifies the language.
Yeah. I mean, even here, I think it's a lot. Well, I mean, first of all, it's better that like these things aren't just full of detail. They have like smaller, the same kind of detail. So they're not noise, but like in between, you have all these spaces. Like I think it's way better to just have just a standard belt thing and not have this on the belt like before, because that was like too much. Now there's a lot more. Just even in this one, there's a lot more places for your eyes to rest from that. So they, which makes, when you look at here, it makes these more impressive as well. And then of course here, just more places to rest.
Yeah. The other ones, I like the last two on the bottom.
These two?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with or without the ropes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, cool. Me too. That's what I like.
And the idea of him sort of slinging that cloak back over the shoulder, I like that.
Yeah, me too. I like this a lot better. I was kind of worried that Steve wouldn't like it. He hasn't weighed in yet.
I weighed in when we first looked at it.
You said you like it this way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought you just were talking about all of them. Like I didn't know you specifically liked that one.
I love everything you do. You're not crushed, right? No,
You're not supposed to love everything.
No, I really do like
pressure.
I really do like the idea of him throwing that piece over rather than it being cut for it.
Yeah, and I was also thinking that in the back, the top back part, it could be there could be like some kind of like a square, kind of like a flat backpack that doesn't open. It's like a patch, just like a patch, and that like either attaches to that or it, I mean, it attaches to that some way if that isn't, it could even be the end of that, and it's just, but it fastens onto the thing. So I don't know if I conveyed that.
You're saying you want to have like a clasp thing on the back that holds it together instead of like a gigantic Velcro strap underneath there.
Yeah. I was thinking that instead, it's not like this a loose thing in back that it actually like the split. This split doesn't. It's not all the way up. It's like at the back here. That it's. But yeah, there's some kind of big. Like square patch thing, and this attaches to that somehow, and probably don't ever need to know exactly how that works, but I thought that might kind of look good, and then below that it splits, like up here ish somewhere. Uh-oh. My audio connection was lost and restored.
No, it was just silence, Wolf. I was waiting for everybody else to talk.
No, seriously, my audio, I got a message. It was muted and then unmuted.
Well, you didn't miss anything because no one said anything.
From these ones,
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No. That's what I was going to ask.
From these ones, I like the third one and the fourth one.
This one and that one?
Yeah.
What about, you like this better than that?
Let me see.
The only difference is this has this has whatever the same color or like whatever if it that matched here. So instead of just keeping your eyes down here, you kind of move throughout the whole thing. Right? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, for that one, the values strike me like. I mean, the thing is, I don't know how to explain it correctly, but basically it's like. Except for the parts that you modify, the bands and the armor in the leg, kind of feels like the values are not that strong in difference. But with the one, the two that I pointed out, it's like I don't know. I like them better in value. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just being picky. I don't know.
Well, are you saying because like here everything fits, but maybe it fits too on the nose? It's too much.
Oh, no. I like that. I like the overall design.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much for all of them, but those two I like because the new pieces you added, the new detail you added, kind of frames.
Mm-hmm.
The place you want to put the attention on. For example, the fifth one, I wouldn't go that way because the chest plate already starts to make too much noise.
Yeah, me too. I didn't like this.
But I like how the detail you added encompasses the torso and pretty much the face, which stands out.
Wait, what are you saying?
Which part didn't you?
Just that the last thing that you were saying.
Oh, that I like how the detail you added and kind of frames the torso, and the face already stands out because of
Uh,
value difference.
Okay, yeah.
So
right. Well,
I really like the third and fourth.
that's kind of what I was trying to say. Like here is that everything, it's kind of this, even though it's different. Like this looks like this, looks like this, looks like this, looks like this, and then like here you do have something that looks different. My only concern is, does it look too different? You know, it's because it's like is it like, why are you wearing two sets of different armor? You know,
No,
but
I think that is being since it's throw around at the limbs, let's say in different parts of the armor, it doesn't really break the design,
hmm
at least for me. But I really I don't think it will create that problem. Let's say.
yeah.
I think
Well,
it's. I mean, I really like the way it works with it. Actually,
yeah.
maybe maybe I like more the fourth one uh, than the third one, because with when you add it on the other two pieces, on the legs and the shoulders, it finishes the frame.
Right.
But I don't know. I like them both. I pretty much like them all
Yeah.
actually, but are it's those small things that make me like this more.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like I'm kind of going back and forth on that, because I do get like that. I mean, that was the point in trying this, is to try and uh, like you said, finish the frame more, where it's just like it's not just here's where he has this armor, and then here in this spot, and then this is where he has this armor and that armor. It kind of says, okay, these are the arms and these are the leg armor things, with the exception of the knee things. But
Sure, yeah.
it so it looks like this. It looks like this is a set, and it's just it's different in the middle. Basically like the uh, the chest, the torso piece is kind of different, which that that seems more fitting. But it's like here, even though, like, I mean, well, here the thing is, where it's kind of like, why is it only like halfway up, or or if that, but it's
You couldn't
like
find his other boot.
what?
He couldn't find his other boots.
Yeah, but it's like it's also I don't know. Like here, I start to wonder if it's too much noise, and like here, it doesn't seem too much noise, and it's like that's one of the things why I like this to be the at least the same value, is because it it fits it together. And it's not just these things down here, but it also um, uh,
You know, I get what you say, what you're saying, but
mhm.
if you have the value too close, um, I feel like my eyes keep wandering
Yeah.
and
Well,
don't
yeah,
find a focal point.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, I see that for this one. It's like everything is so similar that you don't. Yeah, you see it all as armor, and you don't go, ooh, cool boots or something. You're just like, it's armor, because it's the and I mean, I guess the only thing that you really focus on is right here in the middle thing, and maybe you focus on like, ooh, there's spikes, but but as far as the armor thing goes, it's your eye just kind of washes over. But I mean, it's like I like the design, but maybe it's too similar all over, and this one can kind of break it up, I guess. What about
See, those two are my favorites.
what about this one where it's the contrast is less?
I do like the less contrast. To me, like, I don't mind the heavy contrast. It's just when it's big and bright like the other ones, to me that says it's meant to glow. So I like that, and I like the red.
Yeah.
What do you think of these, Sergio?
Yeah, I like them. It doesn't form the same frame I was talking about before, but I haven't seen these ones. It seems I was on another application at the time, but I like them. The only thing is the red. I will desaturate it just a
Yeah,
tiny bit because it's
that's what I was saying. Especially it clashes with the yellow a bit up here, especially. But yeah, it's really neon. I think you can get a cool effect.
but
Yeah.
but I like the colors overall. If you add if you desaturate it a bit, the combination of green and red will really
Right.
stand up.
And also you gotta keep in mind that it's just like I haven't really, I mean, like this is just black and white here except for the green underneath. So it's like I haven't said that this is, you know, gray armor or anything. So it's like
Yeah, you could change the colors.
having different colors, like, because right now I mean it's like you have the darker gray and the lighter gray like here, but if you actually had different colors between that, you know, this dark part and the lighter part, even the old way of doing it, it's gonna it should stand out more. Maybe your eye could find places. But yeah, it sounds like you guys like this stuff better than
Yeah,
better
that's
than this one.
those two are my favorites. I like the muted, and then I like the idea of it being able to glow.
Yeah, as far as muted go, would you, Sergio, would you do this one or this one for as far as like this?
If I'm going like this, I will leave it like it is. I wouldn't add that much, sorry, that much more detail because it will start to break. If you're playing with the high contrast like in the other one, you can start making a frame and focus on the torso. But like this, I like it better like this, like it is.
What about the red?
Without the red I like, it's just the saturation issue for me.
No, I mean like with the red, would you have it like this, or would you have it this way but red?
No, I will keep it also like it is because if you look at it, if you start to add it everywhere,
Yeah.
It will be too much noise also.
Right. Because I think just this, and it depends. It depends on how muted or loud the other colors are. But from looking at what we see right here, this kind of this frames it all, like it ends up. It feels like it frames it as much as this one does. but for different reasons.
I do agree,
Yeah.
but purely for devil's advocate's sake, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring, and I kind of want to see it with the full frame in the red,
Yeah,
just to see if it,
I could do
yeah,
it.
just see how it looks.
Eh.
But I do agree with Sergio for the record.
Mostly because I mean, obviously, if maybe when I see it, I end up agreeing with you and saying, yeah, go with um, the full detail. But like this, when you're combining colors, you don't want to make it seem like you have how can I explain, the same amount uh,
Of red.
of red and green, but of the colors you're combining. But I don't know exactly how to explain it. For example, in a composition, I wouldn't have the same amount of green than red, even if it's an environment or a character. Mostly, I will choose one
Yeah.
depending on what I'm doing and add detail with the other.
Right.
Because especially with complementary colors, they tend to pop up, uh,
They tend to do what?
to pop.
Oh yeah.
If you add just details in focal points with, for example, here you have a majority of green. In this case, the red is what attracts you because it's too saturated. But
Right.
you could,
Yeah.
when adding detail in red, you will throw your attention on those points, let's say.
Yeah.
I
You
don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly,
you
but
know I understand you're saying there should be accents and like I think if the volume of red and green were equal, you would look at both of them equally, and so they would in a way they would neither one would really attract you more than the other, so it would be a lot more like how it would be if it was just all green. Uh, but like um, when you have it to where one like the green is uh, has a lot more volume to it, and then there's red in just a few places as an accent, then that attracts your eye to those because they're different spots, and so it makes them more interesting.
yeah, and low when the saturation doesn't compete that much, maybe the face will grab more attention than the arms right now or the legs. But that's just me. I don't know. Maybe
So are you saying if when there's less red, you're more likely to look at the face because
uh,
you're not stuck in between, you know,
no,
red and green, red and green.
no. What I mean is, if you lower the saturation a bit in the red, especially in the arms and legs, the difference in value and contrast, let's say, with the face, it will attract you more. I don't know. Maybe I had to see it to give a a more accurate critic, but I like it.
Uh-huh.
I will go with that same proportion. The only thing I will do is lower a bit the saturation in the red.
Uh, but you're saying like you're more likely to look at the face now than you would if you
No, right now the thing that uh, grabs the most attention is
is
the
the
arms and
red.
legs.
Is
Yeah,
the red.
Yeah.
Okay, what you're saying is it toning down the saturation would make you look at the face more.
Yeah.
I think so,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure where you're going. I was thinking, uh, uh, what do you guys feel about this armor here? Because it's what if I tried, like, do you love this plate here, or what if I tried something like maybe a little bit, maybe even something that spiked. I don't know, maybe that would be too much, but maybe something that spiked out, or maybe something that had some layers here that looked a little different, wasn't just round.
Actually, you know what?
Maybe.
Maybe that sort of ribbing that you have in the abdomen.
Yeah,
What if it had something similar to that? I didn't even think about it till you mentioned it, but
Yeah.
right. Except going the other way, going up.
oh, either way, going up or going down.
Yeah, it'd be going up. That's how it would fit. Otherwise, it wouldn't fit very well. That it makes sense that way. But yeah, what do you think of that, Sergio? What do you think?
Yeah, that I would like to see.
Yeah.
Maybe it wouldn't bother you uh, as much if you just change the shape a bit.
Oh, you mean as is, but just change the shape?
No, no, maybe both. I don't know. I will have to see it to actually tell you, but because I like them as they are right now, but
Uh-huh.
if they are if you I mean if they are bothering you,
They're not
I
they're not bothering me. I mean, it's like one thing I do like about them is it does kind of like uh, you've got the same kind of this circular thing here. You got the circular thing here, so it's kind of like this same language, and it's kind of moving around. I'm just thinking, um, well, I was just thinking there might be some way, like if I change this up, there might do a way where I could maybe even add a little bit of uh, red, in maybe just in a tiny place, maybe just down here or something, so that it's this place has two. Maybe this place should have two red spots. I don't know. Uh, I mean, they'd be different, assuming that it was red. But
yeah
I don't know. I'm not sure. Like the thing is that the hands are kind of blocking this, so I'm not sure. Like if the hands were away, would we like
yeah.
this as much, or you know?
I again I will have to see it. I like Richard's idea.
Hmm.
Um, But if you're adding red in there, be careful because the
Right.
proportion right now it's actually good because
Yeah.
if you look at it, the legs
It's
are
bigger,
yeah.
longer.
So you
Yeah.
have even if you don't have it in the same places uh, in two breaks like in the arm, you have more a bigger area
Uh-huh.
with that detail. So
Right. That's true. But I mean, like you liked it. You liked this one. So if we were doing
yeah,
something
but
like this, like I'm not as crazy about doing like these plates here. Like in these ones, I'm not doing plates. I'm just doing this stuff. So
yeah,
uh,
but we're talking about different combinations. In here, what I
yeah,
liked was the contrast difference. The other one, you're combining colors, is
right.
another beast.
Yeah, but you have to remember in here that that you know these are not non-colors. They're just colors haven't been uh, displayed yet. It's just a holding piece.
Yeah, but the value overall is
Yeah, attractive.
what
Right.
it's a lot more bright than the the general value on the armor and.
Like I don't know. Now that I'm thinking of it, I think like instead of doing this stuff right here, I should have done it on this gray, on the darker gray here, and left those plain, and instead in the middle, done it on the edges. I think I would have liked that a lot better.
Could be. It's not a bad idea. I don't think it will read as much. Has the same
Impact.
difference because you will have to actually the breaks you have. I don't know how to explain. The parts you have between the white area, the white lines
Are too small.
Are greater than what you can do in the small rim you have around the plate.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I will have to see that. It's not a bad idea, but I will have to see it too.
I mean, yeah, you're not going to get the same kind of shapes. It's just going to be squiggly lines coming off the.
Yeah, I think it will end up that way, but I don't know.
I could try it, but I'm just I think the more I'm looking at this, I think I could probably do something better here. I don't know. I mean, I like this, but I don't know. I think I could do something better with it.
Yeah,
I still want it to read as lighter armor though. I don't want it to turn heavy, but I think.
Yeah, but try out Richard's idea.
Yeah, definitely.
With the plating.
Yeah,
the layering.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, I mean, that's basically. These are layers too. I really didn't draw them, but yeah, more similar to that. But yeah, I was thinking, something that kind of comes out, a little bit of a point or something, kind of wraps around a little. Anyway.
Maybe I would wrap it around a little in the leg to the side, but I don't know if I would add a point there.
Yeah, I'm not
sure. I'm not entirely sure.
I'm not sure it'd be comfortable if you have to crouch.
Yeah, that's true. Especially because light armor, that's probably a bad idea. Huh.
But I mean, certainly tweaking the shape. I mean, heck, go nuts. Why not?
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys, let's move it along. We're about an hour in.
To Sergio that we go?
Nick, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that it arbitrarily muted you.
I was wondering why we haven't heard from Nick.
Oh, that's okay. I was just sitting drawing my own stuff.
Nick, do you want to weigh in on anything?
I think it was all pretty much covered.
Right.
I interjected a couple times, but you guys figured out what I interjected with anyway, so...
Alrighty, in that case, Sergio, I'm coming to you, buddy.
Okay. Hello?
There you are.
Hello.
Yo.
This was what I was thinking about with the hood. You could just make it follow the back of the head a bit, so you wouldn't lose that form.
Yeah, that's a lot easier to show and experiment in either a side view or a 3/4. It's like when it's flat on like that, it's hard to show that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
maybe the only thing from front view will be to if you have the hood like this, to lower the distance you have from the face to the side of the hood,
hmm
like this, and well, in this case it will go okay.
right.
But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, no matter what you do, it still can look like it's just the shape of the
of
like a
the
hat.
hood.
I mean, we have hats that just have uh, that
Yeah,
thing, but I don't think you need, it's like people will get it's an alien. I mean, it's just I mean, between his uh, his hands, uh, his feet, and how he'll walk and his face before we block it off like, with the mask. But yeah, that's why
yeah,
I was kind of writing it. I was kind of pulling it back and having it kind of far back just for Steve's sake. Uh, just but but yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I
But
was actually. Oops. Nah. I was working on this.
That's coming
Oh,
along
you're
nicely.
doing the retopology?
Yeah,
the crystal,
yeah, the centerpiece
yeah,
on the lobby.
cool.
I have ways to go yet, but yeah.
Yeah,
Still awesome.
cool.
This is
Yeah.
the the brother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I base it on the one I showed for an example of a younger um, man, let's say, for a last class. So pretty much the same hair and lines, but yep,
Young.
this is pretty much the idea I had.
Yeah, he could be a Disney hero.
This finely chiseled jaw.
Right. His
And
windblown hair just so.
I know
That's
He does look a great deal more like the brother to me than the other one.
Tough
I
yet
agree, yeah.
sensitive.
I call it a win.
Yeah, it's good.
is there any change you will do to it, or
Do you have the picture of Danielle handy?
uh, let's see. No. Ah. Eh. Where's that? Huh. Apparently not.
Alrighty.
It should be in C file. Under the concept art.
I was only going to suggest
This
that
is
if any changes were necessary to
here it is.
compare the two and just put the two side by side and maybe like in the area of the chin or the nose, make them look related.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you could sell that right now. But like the bulge in his nose, I might thin that out a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Do you mean the
Yep.
bridge
Yeah,
or?
the bridge.
Oh.
I mean, it's a drawing, so you have to be careful about there are things that look male and things that look female, but
Right.
I like him the way he is. But if you did want to play with it, that would be my suggestion: to look at the jawline and the nose and try and make them look related
Yeah.
as an exercise.
Yeah, there's a different style, and that is not necessarily a bad thing, but there is a different style in the eyes. Like she has really large eyes, and he has uh, small eyes.
And again, that goes back to in drawing, there are certain things you do just to say male and female, but
Yeah.
Right, but it's like in her it's more than just male and female. It's a style thing. You know, it's almost manga, whereas he's more realistic proportions. I really like her eyes, though. I mean, I like how it looks. I'm just noticing that and passing it on.
Well, I guess the other thing is, like the two images are the brother Jordan is smaller on the screen, so that could also be part of it.
Yeah, but just in proportion to the whole face.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly the iris. It's what. Yeah, but I get what you mean.
Yeah, maybe, I mean it's not quite manga, but it's hers is getting kind of close. I mean just the not just the iris or so, you know, just the whole shape of like her lid around her eye. That's a big it's just more square inch, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, she
like
has bigger eyes.
yeah, like if you put his eyes, the side like the iris and retina and all that stuff. You put that into her, into like the shape as far as the her eyelids and stuff. You know, if you put that in there, it'll look like he you know is about to be stuck by a red hot poker, like Derek used to like to say. But because it would you would be able to see the entire eye inside that open, you know, the entire iris or you know, the whole colored part of the eye would show up and have white space around it in all sides, up and down.
Yeah.
But it's like you know, I'm just making an observation. I'm not saying that it needs to be. I don't really know. You know, I mean, it's just like I don't know why. I mean, it's like if you look like what is it, anime and stuff. You like they often have people with the really big eyes, but then they'll have people who don't have the really big eyes, and they all exist in the same thing. But usually the people who have the big eyes are if they're related, they both have either the big eyes or the small eyes. But you know. That's just an observation, but I mean, I don't know. I like the way you drew his eyes, his expression. You know, he looks like he's thoughtful but a little sad. You know, he looks kind of sensitive, but also a little hardened, and then you know, like her expression, she looks sort of innocent, in a way, but maybe a little edge in there, which part of that might just be because of her hairstyle blocking one of her eyes, kind of gives her a little look of edge, like, oh, you know, she's like almost like she's hiding, you know, part of her thoughts. But
I'll give you the time of day, but don't give me a reason to kick your ass.
yeah. So I mean, it's like they're all good, but you know, it's just I just noticed that you're doing two very different eye styles that are actually, you know, they're actually different styles and not just gender differences or something, or just, you know, I mean, people have different, you know, some people have a lot more rounder eyes than others, but so I don't think anybody quite has it as big as what she has. But I mean, artistically, it works, and it's nice.
Yeah,
So,
mostly it's the difference between um, male and female. I usually
exaggerate.
do yeah.
Yeah.
I do the for the female. I almost always do the eyes way bigger and
Mm-hmm.
rounder.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Right. But I mean, you can keep the same proportions and still get a look of a little bit bigger, just because. I mean, if like you look at especially on him on the right, not his right but our right, that eye, the 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 fatty tissue above the eye, and you know, lens, whatever that, it drops, it goes down kind of in an angle. It's almost like a triangle. It goes down to the right side. It cuts down in a way that makes it look smaller. And then if like you did something like hers in that style, you would curve it up enough that it would seem bigger, but it wouldn't be any wider. It would just it would look taller, and maybe just a little bit wider. But like you could fit both of his eyes in her one eye. So you know, it all depends on, you know, how strict you want to be about that. It's not necessarily a thing. It might be a little odd if it was like an animation and you're saying these are brother and sister, and you know,
you know, I get what you say. I could that kind of thing. I wouldn't worry that much about it in this,
yeah.
because if I were to do an animation, I wouldn't use this.
Mm-hmm.
These are rough.
Right. Like, and you might. I mean, it's okay to exaggerate the feet and just go, okay, you're exaggerating feature. I mean, comics, they do that like crazy, and it's not about, you know, I what I mean is more like comic strip things. Like, I mean, they do like just to like character types, and it's not about your lineage or family. It's, you know, it's just like, oh, do you look like a walrus? Well, let's heighten that and really make you look like a walrus or something. You know, and it's not about, you know, necessarily, you know, brother and sister and, you know, like relatives. It's It's just about capturing and saying something about both their character and their look. And you could also you could draw it in two different styles, even more so than this, and you could like when you draw them both, if you draw them both together in a scene or something, you might draw them in the same style or more similar style, you know. And I mean, I think it could vary around. I mean, there's no reason that the styles can't change, even how you do her, whether you sometimes you draw her more cartoony and sometimes you draw her more realistic. I don't think that there's any reason why in something like this that you couldn't that you couldn't allow that freedom. I would like I said, that would be strange maybe in an animation where you're trying to make a consistent world, but I don't know that in this form that it necessarily has to be that consistent, and it can't be uh, expressing different styles and stuff, similar. I don't know.
Well, we've got room to play. I'd say maybe make the brother's eyes just a shade bigger.
Yep.
But I mean, it's a good. I love it.
They could play around with it, I guess.
Yeah, I would definitely want to change the bridge and the shoreline,
Yeah.
but the eyes, I will try. I will make them a bit bigger and see.
Why the jawline?
Because it's especially the let's see. They have two. The faces are too different right now.
Yeah, but I mean, she is a woman, so she is gonna have a different shape to her jaw.
Kind of. Actually,
Yeah.
what changes in the skull is the same. So what changes is the percentage of body fat and
The what?
Body
Percentage
fat.
of body fat.
Oh,
Yep. Because the skull, even female or, male or female, the skull is actually the same. It has the same features. What changes is how can I say this? The structure that is above the skull,
yeah.
and for example, this over here will correspond with the I don't know the name in English, but there is a muscle that it's rather thick.
I think it's probably mostly what you're saying, but there is something like there is something different. I mean, it's like I think like I mean, like my sister doesn't have as strong a chin as I have, and it's just the proportions aren't the same. So I think I think maybe the proportions are minimal, but I think I've definitely seen women with strong chins, but it's not it's just like when I see my sister, I don't take note of the chin, and I'm more likely to take note of that in myself. So there is a difference, and
No, of course,
yeah.
of course there is a difference, but
But that's the skull. I mean, it's
Yeah, what I will do here is I wouldn't change this. What I will change is a bit in here
Yeah. Well,
and make this a bit thinner, just a bit, so um, the overall shape will be more corresponded to uh,
right.
the
Right.
understructure is what
Right. Yeah, I guess if she like, I mean, you could go the other way. If he had that kind of strong jaw,
maybe.
like she would have, it wouldn't be hard edge. Like he would have hard edges, but she would have more of a um, it would be more of a heart shape, but like it would be like a wider, like more of a rounder face. She'd be a little rounder down there. It'd be wider, but in a rounder sense, whereas his would be more in those sharp edges, like uh, almost triangle-like, not triangle-like, but right angles and stuff a little.
Yeah, yeah.
But so it'd be a little bit similar in size. She would still look feminine because she would be more rounded, but yeah, she wouldn't be like right now. She has a much like she doesn't have a round face. She has more of a like especially down well I mean, down there it makes it look like more of a narrow face, but it gets wider. So I mean she has a more of a heart-shaped face in a way with at least the bottom part of a heart of a not real heart, but
Yeah.
the heart shapes the icon. So yeah, I guess you could either make his face a little thinner, I mean, like in the jaw, or you could make hers a little rounder.
Well, I think we should use Danielle as a base
Yeah.
and modify the brother accordingly.
Right. Makes sense. But yeah, I mean, there's also people of this brothers and sisters. Sometimes they get some recessive genes and they get you see that look someone will look more like a more distant relative, and you're like, well, they look like they should be related, and so just because
Yeah, it's like a spitting image of somebody's grandfather or something like that.
yeah, it's like they'll have like you'll have like brothers with thin faces, and then one will have a like much more rounder face. It's just like it's just
Well, I think personally, like, if I were an outsider looking in, I would accept these two as siblings. I think maybe just the eyes, making his eyes just a tad bigger. That's about the only thing. But I mean, the rest of it, to me, it's fine. I mean,
I could pretty much say they are brothers and be done with it, but
siblings.
yeah,
Just
sorry.
don't say that they're brothers.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Brother and sister.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But the thing is, it's actually a nice exercise, and
Yeah. You should definitely play with it, but you keep what you have, but maybe start a new one and play with it.
or a copy or something.
Or play with it. Actually, you should play with it a little if you want. Just overlay, do a layer in Photoshop or something, and maybe draw over it, or mess around with it in Photoshop.
I will probably redrawing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could easily do that in Photoshop just with Liquify.
Right.
But
Well, I mean, it's what what you could do is you could go and you could do that with Liquify just to find a shape that you like and like compare it and then from there draw it once you've decided, so you don't have to draw it multiple times.
yeah, I mean,
Or if you want, do whatever you want. I'm just saying.
Alrighty, guys, I gotta switch it over to Richard. We have about 5 minutes left.
All right.
Okay.
okay.
If I can grab the right tab. Alright, coming your way, Ben.
Okay, guys, what do you see?
I see a rifle.
Gun.
All right, cool. Yeah, this is the first kick at the cat for getting the high polygon version of the gun done. So I was still doing some work on the scope, which you'll see in another image, but I put in the vents for the heat.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I've got the charge handle at the back. I did run into some issues with the actual high poly mesh. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a couple of issues along here.
Yeah,
So-
I see this.
Yeah, and especially down here. So I'm going to be probably redoing this. I'm definitely going to be redoing it. But I'm learning a fair bit every time I do one of these. But yeah, same sort of idea from the back. And we've got the sight lines down to the front of the barrel so that if you don't have the scope or it's not available or what have you, the operator would have an alternative.
Did you add some like yellow marks on it?
Nope.
Oh, because I thought that looks pretty neat. Like,
Which part?
I don't know where the handle meets. Do you see where it looks a little? Yeah. No, not the thing in the back.
The stock?
I don't
Oh,
know
this
what.
guy.
Sorry.
No, the
No.
stock.
Yeah, that. But what's the thing in the very back where it's like rested on your shoulder?
stock.
Or
The
something?
stock. Yeah.
What's that called?
The stock.
The stock.
The stock. Where that meets the rest of the gun. Do you see where it looks a little like?
Oh, right here?
It looks like it's colored yellowish or something. It looks like there's a stripe, at least on my end. Does anybody else see that?
Yeah. Yeah, it changed colors.
Okay.
Because
Well,
that like that with this, like doing some yellow highlight things, the right kind of yellow. It's almost a brownish yellow. That might look pretty sharp if you do that in the right places.
Okay.
It'd make the. I mean, you're really not coloring it yet, but that'd make doing that just so could really make the gun pop even more.
Okay. All right.
Keep
Yeah, I can play around with that a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one has the charge handle back, and then it's got the hatch popped open. So this is basically where you would put an energy cell in to reload the weapon.
Oh, cool.
I don't have it on the plate yet, but essentially there's going to be sort of a bracket here that acts like a mounting point. So it's kind of like sticking an old VHS into the VCR.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you slap it closed, pop the handle forward, and then that would charge up the gun. You're ready to shoot again.
And sometimes it eats it up, and then you have to.
Hopefully not.
Then you have to get all that
That'd be a
magnetic
mess.
tape out. And...
Okay, just for that, I'm going to create a picture of that at some point.
your kid puts a peanut butter sandwich in it.
Yep.
Thought it was hungry.
Same thing from the top. I put a little bit of a raised section up here that leads up to the front sight, just to break up the top surface detail a little bit.
It's coming along very nicely. Yeah, I can definitely see some of the high poly issues, but I like the overall design aesthetic.
Yeah.
And then this was, when I went back and looked at the original reference image that I had, I was using a G3 for the purposes of size comparison. And I noticed that what I was working with was actually quite a bit shorter. So I experimented with the idea of essentially from this section onward, pulling the whole thing forward.
Yeah, you could do
And
that.
so it's basically two versions, slightly longer, one slightly longer than the other. And I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with this yet, but it's going to be something to, I don't know, basically increase the yield of whatever you're shooting so it's a more powerful burst when it comes out.
Yeah, I really like that scope. I don't be mad at me,
Sorry?
but
Don't be
when
mad at
Oh.
if you go to the previous one,
Yeah.
when I think on the silhouette of this, if you take out the sight, you have one hell of a shotgun.
That's true.
Yeah, he ain't lying.
Yeah. I will play with that. Yeah. I don't care how far into the future you go. The idea that a shotgun doesn't exist anymore, no. It's going to be there.
Oh, come on, even the new Borderland has laser shotguns.
Yeah, so these are basically showing the low polygon version. And I think it was round about 1,000 or 1,200 polys. So there's still some more optimization that I can use, that I can do, but it's a starting point. And then this is the high poly short rifle with the vents, and I also fixed up the scope, made it a little bit more functional, and gave it kind of a sloped front, just to kind of help with the sunlight coming in at lower angles.
Yep.
One of the scopes that I use in Airsoft, it's a real pain in the butt because I always get artifacts from sunlight, and it occurred to me that sloping this forward might actually help that. So I thought I'd play with that and see how it looks.
Cool.
I like it.
And yeah, that's it for this particular.
Would you have a problem by not like that blocking light? Could you have some other kind of problem?
How do you mean?
Well, you say you had artifacts from the sunlight, and you have the it's sticking out, but when that sticks out, it's going to create more shadow, and I don't know how that might affect it. Do you?
Oh yeah, I'm not sure. I just know that when I put my hand over top of the scope, like just on the top of it, it got rid of my problem.
Yeah.
It's just then my aim sucked because I had no support at the front of the gun.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess if that didn't distort anything or make it harder to see, then it should work the same that way.
Yeah, it seemed to be okay. And when I did some digging around online, I actually did find, it's not very common, but I did find some scopes that do have that same sort
I
of
was
slope.
going to say, I have seen scopes
Oh.
sloped like that.
So I was like,
Yeah,
well, it works for that.
I was just thinking if nobody has done that, there might be a reason why nobody does that. But yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. And I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do with this little beveled section here. I briefly thought about having some kind of indicator for the charge, but there's no reason in the world that it should be that far away from where you're looking, and you wouldn't want somebody else to see that. So
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, the wrong people might be able to tell that you're out of ammo.
You and your logic.
If I were
Just-
to put
just
that
make it all
indicator
blanky.
like that.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just make it all blinky and just blinky lights everywhere, and it should make that sound, like the
They're
Star Trek
blinking and
doors.
flashing, and yeah.
For some reason, it just makes that sound every once in a while.
Alrighty.
They indicate something. We don't care.
Alrighty, Richard. Anything else tonight?
Yes. I did set up a teaser image.
I'm glad it's a teaser
On
because you have
file.
60 seconds. I wish I was kidding.
Concept art. Yeah, there was this guy. And that was basically the lead-in for this. I was hoping to get the Future Tech logo, but and it's basically going to go in the corner right here. But I didn't get it in time, so.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. No worries.
I like
so
it as
there's...
a graphics ad. That's nice.
Cool. Yeah, I was playing around with a couple of things. I'm still trying to set up the assembly that would basically extend out to provide the structure for the holographic emission of the keyboard. But yeah, I think as a wrist computer, this actually, I think it works pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. So
Just
so much
it's
for the
wrist
teaser, but very cool.
Or an armchair.
Sorry, say again?
I would say it's a wrist or an armchair. Do you mean an armchair wrist or
Well,
says
no,
it
No,
arm-
he's being facetious. Armchair generals.
Yeah. I'm just being a smart ass.
Like armchair quarterbacks.
Okay, so this would go on your wrist?
Yeah, basically it mounts on the forearm. Just right along here.
Well, it's
And-
kind of blocky, dude.
No, yeah. There's a few
Like-
things we can do to fix that, but
Yeah,
Um,
I'd make it more rounded or something.
yeah. Well, the actual the actual structure up top is I think simpler is probably a little bit better in that case. If it's too curved, it's a little annoying to try and get at the buttons and stuff like that. But the part that actually, mounts to your arm, essentially one thing I was thinking of doing is sort of rather than a bunch of straps that you have to fiddle with and stuff like that, just have a
Normal.
glove. Sort of. Basically a glove that
Yeah,
wouldn't necessarily be anything too bulky because you want to have, for example, if you're a soldier and you're using this thing, you want to have combat gloves over top. So it would just
But-
basically be something to anchor the computer in place.
does it necessarily need anything but the screen? All those other things, like I mean, we already have the iPads and stuff where it's all touch and
True.
like
yeah,
that they
yeah,
didn't
but
cut
it's
down
no
on
fun.
on spies. Yeah, I know it looks cool, but it's like to have all the the press buttons, but it's like look at that looked like a ginormous thing, I mean, it's just it just looked way too bulky. It kind of
Well, as far as the actual physical size of it, that's something we can play with, for sure. Yeah. I am a firm believer, though, in having the hardware buttons, because there's too many things
That can go
I've
wrong.
had to go wrong with touchsins.
Right. That's true.
It's like it's like autopilot for airplanes. I want to fly, but I will never trust an airplane to land without me at the controls or somebody at the controls, because I've worked with computers long enough to know they fail when you really don't want them to.
Well,
I would never trust an airplane with me at the controls.
if you look at current military hardware, it's still old school hardwired switches that cost $3,000
Well-
because they never fail.
Fair
Yes.
enough. I just looking at this huge bulky thing, which it looked impractical when I saw it on the person like that.
Yeah, well, in this particular case, the person wearing it is quite a bit smaller than your average user. For an adult, it'd be more
Yeah.
along the
Like-
lines here.
Yeah, I cannot see it. I could see that on a big armor suit thing. That would look cool, really cool on it. But just like that, it's kind of, it reminds me of those first cell phones where they call it the brick. It's just like this huge, I'm calling you on a cellular phone.
Yeah.
I said a cellular phone. It's just, it's,
Well,
meanwhile you're carrying it with both arms.
anyone that ever had anything bad to say about a
A
brick,
spotter.
consider how many of them actually break.
Yeah, but I mean, you also didn't wear it on your arm. I mean, that looks just really uncomfortable. Like, I would totally, like I said, I'd totally buy that just as is if it was on a big
Hey,
bulky. You were bulky anyway, but it's like they have like normal clothes on, and they have this huge thing. I mean, it's like there's something there. I mean, it's like, I mean, I mean, Futurama, back in 1999, Futurama
I
started.
gotta tell you,
and
Wolf, I'm thinking back to Alethians with giant swirly things on their forearms.
yeah, but those are Elysians. They're crazy.
All right, guys, I'm 10 minutes
Yeah,
over my time
sure.
and I'm late. I gotta wrap it up.
All right.
I will see you all next Tuesday.
See ya.
Sounds
Good
good.
question.
All right, rock on,
See you
guys.
Bye.